How you doing, everybody? I'm Rob, aka Smirk Roberts, and this is my 99 LS400. Most guys would call this a UCF 20. I've had this car for probably about 3 years, and you know, it's been pretty good to me. I try to keep it a little bit different and stay away from the whole crowd of basically everybody's doing that whole stance and poking and whatever. I'm keeping it old school and I'm tucking some big shoes. You know why I call my car large triple? Because my car is actually a triple tan model, which is all three colors of tan, whether it's from the interior to the top of the paint to the bottom of the paint. I also added a grill, front lip, and here's under the hood. Under the hood, it was painted by my uncle's shop, and then the airbrush was done by my buddy. You can find him at Brush Groove on Instagram. And also my intake manifold was polished by at JD Polishing. I ended up cutting notches in my strut towers because you need to do this if you're really going to be that slam. As you see, the struts, the upper control arms are actually almost touching. So this gives it actual clearance so it's not banging. Other than that, the wheels that I'm on are 20-inch Gianellis made by GFG. The fitment on it is 20 by 8.5 in the front, 20 by 10 in the rear. I got diamond stitch leather door pillars done by Luxury Abstract. Same thing with the curtains. The paint's all original, 19-year-old paint, old school competition stereo. So I got two of these Rockford Fosgate amps, one here, one on the back, two 12s, power capacitor, all zero gauge wire. And then here comes, you know, the disturbing of the piece. I have straight pipe exhaust. So it's pretty subtle, as you see, but when you really get into it, it's pretty damn loud. Other than that, this is my car. You like it or you don't love it. I got a lot of haters, but that's the way it goes. I'm living life, got my kids, love my wife, and that's it. What got me into cars? It runs in my family. But for me, personally, what got me into the custom aspect is when I was young, my mom used to have a 84 Blazer. And then we went shopping and we came back to the car. She put her keys in. Keys didn't fit. So it turned out it wasn't her car, but it was another car of the same color. So literally from that moment on, I've always wanted to have something different. So when you go into a parking lot, you know exactly whose car that is. Cars is pretty much what I think about, other than, you know, typical guy stuff, right? Personally, me, like, cars, it relaxes me. I can get into it. I can drive. I can be by myself. I can cruise with my family, have my tunes. Really, you know, it's therapy to me. And it also keeps me grounded in a way where it's like, I want to, you know, make sure that, you know, everything is maintained on it. I want to make sure whenever I go somewhere that if I do run into another car of the same as mine, I want to make sure that mine is clean, looking good, and always on top of his game, just in case it meets its nemesis.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today I'm in a 1999 Lexus LS400. Oh man, I love these cars, man. These cars look so good. And this car actually belongs to Robert. I met Robert off Instagram, and oh man, this thing looks a lot nicer in person. These cars, they're one of like the best cars that Lexus has ever made, in my opinion, because one, they're reliable, two, they're so ahead of its time, and three, they're so luxurious. And like, this V8 actually runs for a long ass time. Like, Matt Farah's actually got one, and that thing's actually gone past 1 million miles. This car is way ahead of its time. You know, it's got an LCD display for its climate controls. You know, it's got seat warming, it's got electrically assisted seat, and like everything about this car, it just feels like the newer Lexuses. You know, it's so comfortable to be in here, and the cabin is so quiet. And I am hitting these corners, but I'm not beating up this car because this car wasn't meant for that. This is a VIP build, you know, so it's got the curtains, it's got the leather trims outside. Everything is just done so right on this car, and it's been really paid attention to, and that's what I really like about this build. It's very simple, and it's got all the right components to it. If I had a Lexus LS400, this is pretty much how I'd build it. So I'm really digging this car. Well, it's got some 20-inch chrome wheels. In this situation, the chrome actually does work. It's not like the old school chrome, but at the same time, it still holds that old school vibe. Also, the exhaust setup on this, it's actually a full straight pipe, and it's a beast. It sounds absolutely amazing. I can actually give you guys a quick sound tour. I'll open the windows for you. Yeah. Very confusing because it sounds like an American muscle car, right? Because of that whole heavy duty V8. I'm actually gangster leaning this car because that's the way you should be driving this car, honestly, because you don't want to sit upright, you don't want to sit properly, and this thing wasn't meant to be cornered. Although it is rear-wheel drive, so it does have potential to be drifted, but I'm not going to be doing that with this car because, once again, this car wasn't built for that, right? So this car was built to be cruised and to be driven slow, right? So like it's kind of like a show car, and it's a VIP build. The brake feel, it's nice, you know, like it stops the car. Like this is a really big, heavy car, and it doesn't seem like to be struggling or anything. The rims itself, they're pretty big. Like I mentioned, they're 20-inch wheels, and they look really nice on this car. The seating, okay, we can talk about the seating. The seating, once again, guys, it's a VIP build, so like I'm not expecting any bolstering or anything to be in the seats. If I were to corner this car, I'm literally gonna slide off. Loud. That straight pipe on the V8 is just insane. And the amazing thing about this car, it actually breaks a lot of necks. Like me, I'm going up and down my regular trail, and I'm breaking a whole bunch of necks. And it's just a nice feeling, you know, like you want to be seen in this car. It does have curtains as well, and like just like a regular VIP build, like you gotta have those curtains in here because sometimes you need your privacy, you know, sometimes you need your privacy, so you know you gotta close those curtains, but they're mainly just for show. The suspension setup has kind of caught me off guard because I didn't know that this company's actually made suspension components for the LS400. This Lexus LS400 is actually sitting on HSD coilovers, and HSD coilovers, they're probably one of my favorite coilover brands. I'm really happy that they made coilovers for the LS400 because I know there's a lot of stance guys that run LS400s because of the whole rear-wheel drive setup and just the fact that they look awesome. And this one is an automatic transmission, just the way it should be. Just put it in drive and just cruise. See, the thing with this V8 is that it has a lot of power. It has a lot of power and it has a lot of torque, but it doesn't apply that power right away, right? So you don't really feel like you're being sucked into the into your seat when you accelerate. Like that's not the deal with this motor. So the way that this motor actually works is that it applies it smoothly. So it's very effortless, this V8. I really like the stances thing. This thing really sits really low. Instead of going stretch like a bunch of other Lexus LS400s, Robert's actually decided to tuck in his wheel, and honestly guys, this thing in person looks really nice. I feel special driving this car. Like it's not something made for the back road. On the road that I'm on right now, it's just relaxed, you know? Honestly, I wouldn't mind being driven behind it. Like if I had a chauffeur to drive this thing for me, it wouldn't feel out of place. Like it feels at home. And that's the thing with the LS400. Like it's really at the peak of what Lexus had to deliver at its time. And Lexus as a company, I have a lot of respect for. For those of you that don't know, Lexus is actually owned by Toyota. It's actually the same company. It is Toyota's luxury brand, but they really come out as a very strong, luxurious company and have really made a name for itself because they still have that Toyota reliability, and they make really luxurious, high quality cars. And that's the amazing thing about Lexus. I don't know if they still do this, but I know they have done this in the early 90s. They actually hired a guy, an inspector, to make sure the buttons inside the Lexus sounded right. So like if they didn't click right, it would get replaced. Like that's how much detail Lexus has gone into making these cars. Anyways guys, I really like this car. I want to thank Robert for coming out and letting me drive this beast. It was a really splendid experience. You know, I got my seat back, I'm cruising. Anyways guys, thank you for watching once again. Make sure you like and share this video because that really does help. And also comment down below, what do you think about the Lexus LS400? And while you're at it, make sure you click that bell notification button because that lets you know exactly what time I drop those videos. Anyways guys, be good kids, take it easy, 11-11. Peace.